Ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased and personally honored to present Dan Rather for his outstanding contributions in the field of journalism, the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters honoris causa.
Thank you. Thank you all very much. This is indeed an honor, and I am both humbled and touched. And thank you, friend Joe, for those very kind words of introduction. This being Illinois, I suspect a number of people know that President Lincoln once, when given an overly generous introduction, said, "Don't take time to deny it. The audience will find out the truth soon enough for themselves." And so it will be with you here today. But President Carter, Chairman Turner, members of the Board of Trustees, faculty, staff, family members, and most importantly, my fellow graduates of the class of 2008. Thank you for having me with you on this special day. Years from now, graduates, chances are that you will not remember much, if anything, of what was said here today. To be honest, I can't even recall who spoke at my own college graduation. What I do remember are the proud smiles of my parents and a personal feeling of real accomplishment. This is fitting. This is right. These are the things you should remember. But in the brief time I have with you today, I do have something that I'd like to share, a hope and a wish I'd like to pass along to you. You have reached the pinnacle of this challenge you chose for yourselves when you embarked on a college education. As one who was the first in my own family to go to college, I can tell you that I understand fully and well what an achievement this is. And when the ceremony and the celebration have died down, I hope that each of you can take some time to personally and privately savor what you have wrought through years of applied effort. I'm aware, though, that your moment of savor will be brief, for the next challenge looms in the workplace or graduate school, or in that most daunting thing of all for those who have chosen words as their stock in trade, a blank piece of paper, a newly created Word document, a thought looking for a way to be expressed. In your years here and in your education before Columbia, you have already had regular indicators of your progress, your grades, your steady march through the years from green freshmen to savvy seniors. But from now on, you will find these indicators will be harder to come by. And the goals you're working towards, too, will be up to you to set for yourselves. This, let me tell you, can be daunting. But do not let it be discouraging. And as you face that next mountain to climb, or while you're trying to figure out what that mountain is, I hope that you will remember this. You are the now. You are the now. Yes, you're the future, but you are the now. And whatever your dream is, if you already have one, make up your mind now, this moment, to drive hard and drive all the way. You will find yourself in your next climb confronting tradition, the traditions of an institution or a work environment or a craft. artistic traditions, and societal traditions. Traditions are worthy of respect. Traditions are something from which we can all learn. But never forget, even as you give tradition its due, that you are the now. People in my position are fond of telling people in your position, you graduates, that you are the future. Kind of convenient, isn't it? Buys guys like me a little more time. But the future is yours, of course, but do not wait. This is the point. Do not defer your dreams, beginning building them now, today. Use the past to drive you forward, not weigh you down or hold you back. Writers, and I include all of you in this description because writing is the bedrock of any endeavor that involves communication. It is certainly the bedrock of journalism. Writers accept the challenges laid down by those in the canon, but do not feel compelled to duplicate their work. Ernest Hemingway, Toni Morrison, Edward R. Murrow, they have all helped to establish the parameters, the dimensions of greatness, but not one of them holds a monopoly on defining what greatness is. You have the opportunity to define that anew for yourselves and for your time, because you are the now. And as you absorb and take ownership of this charge to reimagine the art of writing, the crafts of journalism and interpretation and management, and indeed reimagine your nation and the world in the image of your own ideas and your own time. As you do that, here's my wish for you. Courage. Courage is a word that has gotten me into trouble from time to time. Perhaps this is the fault of the messenger, but the message itself I believe to be not only unassailable, but absolutely necessary for our time, for your time. I wish you the courage of your convictions. You come to this summit today filled with ideals. That is the way of youth. My hope is that you can avoid the cynicism that says, well, yes, that is the way of youth only. You know the argument that your ideals will fall away inevitably with the accumulation of years and experience. No, ideals fall away only with your permission. As you start your next ascent, do not consent to be stripped of your enthusiasm, your heartfelt convictions about the way things should be, and the sense of your individual power to make them so. I also wish for you the courage to let those closest to you, your parents, your friends, your mentors, the rocks you cling to in your personal storms, know how you feel about them. Love is a short word, but perhaps because it contains so much, it can be the hardest word to say. This would be a good day to say it to your parents. Do not wait. Do not hesitate. Find the courage to say or to sign how you feel. And finally, I wish for you the courage to be Americans in the most basic and fundamental expression of that word. To be an American is to be a citizen, and to be a citizen in this constitutional republic based on the principles of freedom and democracy is to know your rights and, just as importantly, to use them. Democracy, my young friends, is not a spectator sport, nor was it meant to be. If government of, by, and for the people is not to perish from this earth, we need to remember that the government does not reside solely in Washington or down the hall or in the State House. It resides within every one of us. Voting is a part of this, yes, but it is far, far from the only part. You have the right to free speech, to peaceably assemble, to petition your representatives for grievances. and use these rights and guard them closely. They are yours, and many have fought and died, have struggled and faced persecution so that you and I might enjoy them, lest we forget. May you heed the words of Andrew Jackson, who spoke of the bravery of standing up for what is right when he said that one man with courage makes a majority. Those words apply to all Americans and to all of you. But I speak with particular emphasis as I address those of you who have chosen the field of journalism. My first and best journalism professor gave me a piece of advice that has stuck with me through the years and has helped provide me with what modest measures, if any, of courage that I've had. It's rough-hewn wisdom. I was going to apologize in advance for its lack of delicacy, but I'm going to clean it up just a little. But this is what he told me, and I give it to you for your careful consideration, especially those of you who hope to go into journalism. It is quite simply, don't let the powerful scare you. Your job is to ask questions and to keep asking them until you get an answer or until it's clear that an answer won't be forthcoming. And don't neglect the most important question of all, the follow-up question. Be respectful always, but do not be intimidated by power or its trappings. I underscore this because the constitutional right to a free press is not for the benefit of the press. It is for the benefit of all Americans. If those of us in the press do not do our jobs, do not exercise our rights, we all suffer. And again, I say to each and every one of you, to you writers of fiction and nonfiction, of poetry and prose, and to those who will find themselves in positions of media management, do not live in fear of using your right to speak freely, to describe the unvarnished reality of what you see happening around you. Self-censorship is perhaps the worst censorship of all, for it is a form of oppression that is all but impossible to hold up to the light and root out. Self-censorship both ratifies and engenders fear. It is a pernicious enemy of any free society. Do not fall into this trap. Courage, Plato wrote, is a kind of salvation. And it is this salvation that I wish for you in this signature moment of your lives, and for what I hope will be many fruitful years ahead, starting now. Having endured my prose, I want to leave you with a gift of poetry. Not my own, you'll no doubt be happy to know. It carries a suggestion. Tonight, as this day of celebration for you draws to a close, take a moment to look upwards and try to find a star. Gaze upon it and think of Robert Frost's poem, Choose Something Like a Star, and claim that wise American's verse as your own. It goes, O star, the fairest one in sight, we grant you loftiness the right to some obscurity of cloud. It will not do to say of night, since dark is what brings out your light. Some mystery becomes the proud, but to be wholly taciturn in your reserve is not allowed. Say something to us we can learn by heart, and when alone repeat. Say something, and it says, I burn. But what say with degree of heat? Talk Fahrenheit, talk centigrade. Use language we can comprehend. Tell us what elements you blend. It gives us strangely little aid, but does tell us something in the end. And steadfast as Keats' eremite, not even stooping from its sphere, it asks a little of us here. It asks of us a certain height. So when at times the mob is swayed to carry praise or blame too far, we may choose something like a star to stay our minds on and be stayed. Congratulations, good luck, Godspeed. Thank you.